All right, this is the Bitcoin astrology forecast for November 2023. Now, I have been a little MIA because I had a pretty scary health scare over the eclipses starting in October, literally on the day of the eclipse, the lunar eclipse on October 15th. Started getting pain in my lower abdomen and eventually went to some doctors, and they were thinking that it could be appendicitis, so there was the threat of getting my appendix taken out, but ultimately that's not what it was, and I was able to heal it naturally. So I'm so grateful, and I'm literally, like, I feel like I'm still recovering, like, emotionally and almost like spiritually, because I was facing death like multiple times. At one point I also did potentially overhydrate, and that can be really dangerous and possibly deadly too. So it was like I went through so much, and still kind of recovering. But physically, I feel good, so I'm so grateful. And my goal was to go to the gym, and I was able to do that. So feeling good, and still kind of recovering emotionally from that experience. So we're back at it here. We're back at looking at the Bitcoin chart. Let's clear things up here. Just massive moves here, and the incredible thing is this literally happened when the eclipses happen. And so typically when we see the eclipses, we have a major shift in the market. The first eclipse happened right here. Let's go to the daily chart. First eclipse happened right here on October 15th. Look at this, we get a pump right after, and then we just keep heading up. And the second eclipse, it was on October 29th over here. And that's when we already completed this massive move. So look at this, guys. We got this just, I mean, typically eclipses mark a major shift in the market. We got an absolutely major shift in the market. We created a new high for this year, new higher highs. And we are just hanging out up here. We are just, it hasn't moved down much at all. So what I'm potentially seeing here is this is potentially max pain for the bears. There's so many people when we were down here calling for Bitcoin, 23,000 or 20,000 or whatever, 14,000 or whatever crazy things people were saying. I'm still waiting for 12K Bitcoin. Those people, it looks like, are getting left completely in the dust. And this is the problem when we are constantly waiting for a target price, but then we're not considering that we could just get left in the dust. So I think this is really leaving a lot of the bears in the dust, and we are hanging out up here. Now, I am hoping, I'm not predicting this at all, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm hoping that we're going to see a correction down to, let's say, 32,000, 31,000. It'd be a phenomenal buying opportunity. But that day might never come, and we might just keep heading up. So I'm really glad that I was buying down here in these areas. And so we'll look at the astrology here in a moment. I'll identify some dates that we could get a correction down, but I'm definitely not saying we could just keep hanging out around 35,000, 34,000 for a while, and we could just head up. Or we could get a correction, but I'm not seeing anything specific in the astrology that is pointing to a massive correction. So I'm definitely not predicting that. It's looking more like we're probably going to consolidate around 34, 35,000, maybe for a couple more weeks. And that might be as low as it goes. I'm actually not hoping for that. What we also have is we have these levels, these Fibonacci levels here. But like I'm saying, we could retest the 50% here. I took a Fibonacci line from this local high back here back in March, and then I took it down to the bottom around 15,700. And so in the best case scenario, I mean, I'm hoping we're going to retest 32,000 around there. If not, we could hang out right around here, 35,000. Now, there probably is going to be some resistance around 35,600 around there. And if we go above that, the next level would probably be 38,000. And then after that, 40,000, 41,000. And then major resistance probably at 42,000 because that is the 50% level from the previous peak down to the bottom. It's right here. Yeah, around 42,000, a little bit above 42,000. But that's looking more out into the future. I drew this line here. Just this is kind of what I'm hoping is that we get a retest down to 32 and then head back up. Or we just hang out here and then head up. Okay, let's take a look at the astrology, the main event. We could look at broad overview here, just Bitcoin's in the middle and the planets, where the planets are right now, are on the outside. One of the major things that's happening is Saturn is almost exactly conjunct Bitcoin Venus. The last time it was exactly conjunct was back in March when we saw a Silicon Valley Bank collapse, and we saw a major correction for Bitcoin. Problem is this time it's not hitting exactly over Venus. It's just getting really close. But now I'll go forwards in time. Watch the Saturn. It's going to move back away from the Bitcoin Venus, and it's just going to get further and further away. So it's losing its power on that Bitcoin Venus. It got really close on November 5th, and we did not see any major dump. So, and we're already starting to move away. So I think all this energy means with the Saturn here over the Venus is that Bitcoin's just consolidating, and it might just be consolidating around 34,000, 35,000, potentially for the next couple weeks. Now, if we do get a correction, here's what I see. But looking back on October, we had this very bullish aspect here on the 27th when we saw major pumps from Bitcoin. We do see this Saturn sextile Bitcoin Pluto, which is very bullish, and that we get the next direct hit on December 5th. So December's looking very bullish. And then here's this Saturn conjunct the Venus, Bitcoin Venus that I was talking about, but it's losing its power as we go through November. So it's kind of consolidating the Bitcoin price, but it's losing its power. So the Bitcoin price could keep going up in November, little by little. Probably no massive crazy moves, although that is possible too. This is really hard to predict right now. There's no it's not really clear right now. We're not. There's no major things that are clear in the astrology. We do have Venus square Pluto. That's a little bit. These are all minor aspects. So it's a little bit bearish on the 9th. And then we have the Sun trine the Bitcoin Uranus, which is pretty bullish. So these are all minor aspects. We could see a little bit of dumpage around the 12th, 13th, or 14th, because these are 3 negative transits in a row. So maybe in mid-November, we could see a dump. Yeah. Let's see what else. Or the 23rd of November, we have the Sun square, the Bitcoin Venus. But yeah, other than that, it's just a mixed bag. And overall, the setup with Bitcoin is bullish. And then wow, when we get into December, we're getting a lot more bullish, because we got Uranus trine Uranus. I mean sextile Uranus. But then we have Pluto conjunct the Bitcoin Jupiter, which historically this year is very bullish, and that's heading into January, very bullish. So man, I mean, it just seems like things get more bullish in December. So I'm definitely, any weakness we see with Bitcoin, if we see any dumpage, I'm gonna be buying that. That's all I gotta say. But not financial advice. That's just what I'm doing. It's just what I'm thinking. And there's not too much more, but if we can look at the Pluto that's going to conjunct the Bitcoin Jupiter and look at it. We're getting closer to Jupiter as we go through December. And then around January 6th or January 5th, I believe. Let's see. Nope, January 8th, around there, January 7th, 8th. That's very bullish. All right, so I'm thinking November could be my last buying opportunity here. So yeah, I'm definitely mostly in. I'm almost all in, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, what are you thinking? What are you doing with your money? Not financial advice here. This is just edutainment purposes only. But wow, I mean, if we look on the monthly, we got this massive green candle on the monthly, just phenomenal, and we're still holding strong. So we have 2 green candles in a row. I'm just kind of reviewing this on the monthly. If we're getting super bullish, we could just keep going up. But like I said, this is tough to predict right now. I have taken a little bit of profits. I'm just paying some bills, some simple bills with crypto. It's kind of nice just to have crypto doing the work for me and paying some bills. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to have like a crypto credit card and just take $100 out here and there and just, have crypto work for you, pay the bills. But I think that's about it. The crypto fear and greed index, we're at 68. We hit 74, and I mean, I'm thinking it's typically a fairly good profit taking, but problem is we're heading into such bullish December and January that, I don't want to take too much profits because it just could get more and more bullish. All right, so that's what I'm seeing. Apologies that it's not like crystal clear and I can tell you exactly when it's going to dump and exactly when it's going to pump. It's not crystal clear. Other than that, December and January is looking super bullish, and everything kind of is preparing for that. So much love. Hope you got some value from this video. I'll be coming out with a Ethereum video and an XRP video coming very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more Bitcoin astrology videos like this. Hey, my predictions have been 90% accurate, and I have proof of that. You can look at my previous videos where I go over my predictions and then the exact results that actually happened with Bitcoin. I got some wrong. I got like 1 out of 10 wrong, but then 9 out of 10 times 90% accurate. So pretty good if you ask me. Not typically one to brag, but the results are showing themselves, and Bitcoin astrology is quite accurate. It's exciting. So join this journey with me. Definitely subscribe if you're new, and I will see you on the next video.